Good morning, girls and boys. Mr. O'Neill here. I'd just like to make a short video today regarding the English transfer, the GL transfer test. First of all, it is a very different ebb and flow and rhythm to the maths paper. The maths paper, 45 questions, 45 minutes, 1 minute per question. You've a great ability to pull in your mental math strategies, your written methods, your recall. You've seen a lot of the questions before. It's just adapting to slightly different numbers or a little variation or a twist in how the question is worded. The English test, well, the format is the same. There's 3 comprehensions every English test, and there'll also be assessment there on spelling, punctuation and grammar. Okay, but the 3 comprehensions, they can be pulled from any text in the world. They can be fiction, they can be non-fiction. They're often set in modern times, and sometimes they're taken from a classic piece of literature, an extract from maybe 100 years ago, where humans spoke very differently to each other. Different language was used. Huckleberry Finn is a book that's been used, and some of the way they spoke to each other isn't how we speak together in Ireland, because it's a book set a long time ago in the deep south of America. So context is important. So it's up to you as early as you can to immerse yourself or deep dive into the text. When you turn over that English paper, you're met with your first long read. I would suggest, if you're time managing well, about 5-6 minutes to read that from start to end. And like I said, try and absorb as much as you can. Information, facts, details, twists, unusual words. It's all likely that those little bits that you spot, those little bumps in the road, may actually signpost you or give you an early indication of what the questions will be. Because remember, this isn't done accidentally. They really do want to marry the questions up to the text and what they believe to be the trickier bits of the text. So be prepared. Okay, you're not expecting an easy read. There will be little bumps in the road. But if you know they're going to be there and you use your techniques to try and work out key areas of the paper. A few years ago, there was a passage, and it was set in a castle 200 years ago. And they described the curtains as scarlet. Now, none of the children, when I asked them, knew what the word scarlet meant, but they were able to work it out because it did talk about red shoes and red burgundy wine, and how the lady who owned the castle liked a lot of things to match. So using that context and additional information, when the question came and said which word in paragraph 3 means the same as the colour red, they were able to apply that. So you are looking for more information, reading between the lines. Like I said, to deep dive or immerse yourself into the question. When it comes to the questions, this might sound so obvious, but it is so obvious. I'm going to say it to you as I say it to every class. Really read the question. And when you've read it, ask yourself one little thing. What do they now want me to do? What direction have they given me? Where in my notes, when I was skimming and scanning and highlighting the important stuff, am I going to bring my eyes back in? Because you will be back and forth, back and forth. You'll remember a lot of stuff, but not everything. And over 10 questions, you probably will, in 4 or 5 of them at least, have to go right back in and try and find where that piece of information was and deduce what the author meant at certain points. But when you read the question, then the next stage, GL, read all 4 or 5 answers. Read all 4 answers, sorry. Because one of them is probably going to be a rotten egg. Okay? That's called elimination. If you can get rid of a bad answer, even on your worst days where you are not sure what the answer might be, if you've got rid of a bad answer, it's easier to pick between 3 than it is 4. That's called elimination, and that's another skill and technique that you really want to use. Just physically draw a line. If you think C is ridiculous and can't happen, score it. It looks easier, it is easier statistically to guess or to work out at that point. Always, even if you read out the question and you think the answer is A, please read B, C and D, because they're very tricky. They might give you an answer that is partially correct, but in English in particular, all four may be partially correct, but there's a best answer or better answers if you probe and read the answers carefully. Because boys, don't underestimate that, okay? 10 questions, 3 or 4 of them will be pretty straightforward and easy, and you'll remember like that. The rest you will have to use your skills, okay? Your techniques. Be ready for them, okay? Best of luck.